you know, I'm gonna pause my comments there to pick up later.
And I'm gonna get it to you in 1 second, dirty folks. I want to give a shout out to my man Mike with the $5 cash app. Thank y'all so much for supporting the stream. Support all the panelists too. I got other streamers going on right now. Support the show. Thank you so much, my man. He dropped the question, but I wanted to thank him for the donation. Count that money, man. Count that fucking money, man. Count the money. Mike asked, and I guess this is in relation to what I was talking about in Europe and the cookie crisis over there in Europe. And he asked, what future event will cause riots here? I don't know, because it's hard to really pinpoint something like that, because there have been several cookie attacks by migrants, right? Several high profile cases, right? Illegal immigrants have killed and cookie cut a lot of people over the last few years, and the news media doesn't let these stories go national, for one, and they don't do all the editorializing. They don't try to fan the emotional flames of these events the way like a George Floyd or a Breonna Taylor was. And so I don't know what it's going to take, but I do I do imagine something will happen at some point, but it's hard to know what and why and how. It's just one of these unpredictable tinderbox kind of things. Like I don't know what it's going to do, but I know it's going to do it. Something's got to happen. But dirty folks, get in here, man. I wanted to ask y'all about this gang thing, man. Well, people are calling for like the black gangs. What are the black women going to do? Because I don't think the black gangs really got it.
You got a lot of Chicago going on the panel. I'm gonna fall back. I'm gonna let them be great. To answer your question though, this isn't the 1990s black gang. This isn't the Biden crime gang.
1980s was when y'all was in y'all glow. I'll give y'all that. The 90s, that's when y'all start fucking up in the city of Chicago. But go ahead, Dirty.
I mean, you can say it over. All I'm saying is there's no hierarchy. Nobody goes to meetings. There's no more shooting range, mandatory classes. Um, I don't really care anymore. I know the boys out east gonna take care of they thing because all they do is shoot and they good at ambushes. They don't really do shootouts. They do ambushes. They find out where you at and you will never come out the building because Chicago only has like a 24% conviction rate on murder. So niggas don't care about shooting out here. So I'm pretty sure they'll handle it like they handled it when the migrants hit that old man in Roseland. Plus, these migrants kind of scary.
So let me raise this other issue, and I'm just thinking about the geography of it all, and I would argue a place like Aurora, Colorado, has a minimal black population, and therefore an even less of a black crime issue. Like, so black gangs in a place like that are probably not even a real thing. Like, and maybe some neighborhood level shit, but ain't nobody really popping like that.
Oh, they got Bloods and Crips out there, bro. And don't get it twisted. This ain't what y'all think it is.
That shit ain't real. Look,
I mean, it's starting to look like it ain't real. Where the Bloods and Crips then? That's the next question.
That shit ain't real. The only place real Bloods and Crips are Cali and maybe Las Vegas, because a lot of people from Cali move to Las Vegas. And I would argue that the GD Vice Lord thing is a Midwest thing, like Chicago, Northwest Indiana, Indianapolis, because a lot of niggas Chicago go down there. Maybe St. Louis, but St. Louis is so cracked out, it's like a ghost town. But people don't have the passion for things that don't create. Like, I don't think gangs in New York are real. I don't think New York Bloods and GDs are real. They cliquish.
Hey, them Black Kings up there real though.
I can't speak on what the Mexicans do, but I just really don't. The question is, and this is where I give Chicago the nod. Aurora is a place where you go to have mixed babies. Black dudes from Detroit go to find a white girl, have mixed babies. And you saw how many light skinned men were on those videos. How many dark skinned women? Dark skinned women ain't getting no dick. Let's say fucking a white boy, because black boys don't want them out there in Colorado. When you have when you have a culture of lawlessness in Chicago and to an extent Detroit, even though Detroit getting taken over by Asians, but the Asians not violent, they just buying the real estate. When you have a culture of lawlessness, then when lawlessness comes to you, you be like, oh, it's Thursday.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know,
Right.
I think Colorado had, they've been laid back way too long. No guns. First one with good weed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, let me jump in there. Um, Peace to the panel, everybody on there, Dirty Folks, Mr. O, um, Hood. Um, you guys know, and I make it no secret. I recently retired from law enforcement, and one of the areas I specialized in is quote unquote gangs. And to speak to what Dirty was saying, he's absolutely right. There is no hierarchy. In places like Chicago, you still have your GDs and vice lords and four corner hustlers and stuff, but because of what happened in the '90s with the crime bill, which I'm going to tie that into what's going to happen shortly. Due to the crime bill, a lot of that hierarchy was taken out, and a lot of the gangs, you still have the names of like the GDs and stuff, but for the most part, most of those gangs really got decentralized to neighborhood cliques. You
Yeah.
know, it's like you got guys from one block area really clicking up with others just so they can try to get money on the streets, and that's what you have. They're cliques, and those cliques are far more porous than the gangs of the '80s and the '90s. So as far as all of them guys uniting up, I really don't see that. That being said, with this migrant situation, this is the setup. This is what Democrats do. They'll employ certain groups to create mayhem right before elections, such as Antifa,
Yeah.
which Antifa and BLM, which is basically the political wing of Antifa. If you really look at it, they employ these groups to create mayhem and discord for the Democrats, which is the problem that the Democrats then have a solution for once they get in the office. We not only see this here, we see this in places like Jamaica, Belize, and other Caribbean countries. Um, so, what they're going to do to address this problem, should they get in office, they are going to come up with another crime bill. I always call it the crime bill 2.0, to fix that problem that they cause. And this is what Democrats do. They'll 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 um, they'll employ certain groups to be paid mayhem makers, and then they'll once they get in office, then they'll go about fixing that problem. Because if you notice, you don't really hear from Antifa anymore because they pretty much gave Antifa Minnesota and Oregon, and we see what that's looking like. With BLM, they paid them off so they can go buy a bunch of houses and stuff, and kind of fade off into the yonder with their money that they earned from the Democrats.
Yeah, nice little luxurious mansions and stuff in California after they destroyed
Yeah,
my city of Chicago. Yeah. Yeah, Patrice
yeah,
Colors, that little lesbian bitch, man. Yep.
yep. This is what I seen before. Back during the 20 leading up to the 2020 elections when they had those mask mandates. And I used to work in intelligence in the military. I explained it to military leaders and others that those masks, we already know that it's been medically proven that those masks don't stop the spread of the bug. But what those masks do effectively is mask the identification through biometrics and others of the people who are behind causing the mayhem. That's all those masks were for. Now, what they're doing with the Venezuelans and the others coming across their border, and stuff for the main mayhem makers, the people that they're really funding to create the mayhem. Um, they're illegal immigrants. They know that for the people that they want to get in that will become voters, that's fine. But for the main mayhem makers, they know that these people really can't be identified all that much by local law enforcement. And what they'll hide behind is deporting them out of the country or just simply relocating them somewhere to where they're out of the way. Watch what I'm saying because you're going to see it all in play one now that you know what I'm talking about. This is their strategy. So this is what we're going to see
You know the
post
thing though,
election.
you can't simply Royce. I'm sorry, you can't simply deport these people though. I think that's what's kind of being established right
How
now
come?
because they have weapons. You can't simply deport an armed group. It's not easy.
And that's going to
Man,
be
shit,
the issue.
bullshit. In the National Guard. What's the fuck they doing, bro? Hey, what's the
But hold
privatized
on,
military?
hold on, hold on, hold on. Slow down and think this through. Slow down and think this through. Armed American soldiers on streets of America shooting it out with brown gangs.
Yeah, that's going to cause a whole different
They did
problem.
it before, and they're going against the Alamo. They did it before in the Spanish American War. I mean, history repeats itself. So what's the problem? I
I
mean,
think
shit.
we're talking fast and not
But
thinking it
we're a
all the way
long way
through.
from that.
Yeah,
We're a
bro.
long way from that, and they have a lot of legislation in place, such as the Criminal Omnibus Act, different terrorism and gang legislation, anti-gang legislation, which they'll be able to deal with that. If you look at how the legislation is written up, they'll be able to deal with that. But another issue that we're going to be looking at is you're going to actually see a further dumbing down of the population because the a lot of the education system, number one, is focused on indoctrination rather than education, and number two, you're dealing with people who um, a new population who would rather be on the streets making money the street way than sitting up in a classroom. So you're going to have a population that's going to be even more illiterate than the current population is, and they're going to be more criminally motivated, which is going to feed into the prison to uh, school to prison pipeline, and that's going to fund a lot of. You're going to see a big expanse of correctional institutions to house these people. And as far as this housing that Kamala Harris is talking about, this $25,000 for housing, and this talk of building housing, all that is projects. So you're going to see more public housing being built, projects, and that's going to be where they're going to try to contain a lot of that crime in those places outside of the cities to where they're too far to get to easily from public transportation. We're going to see another
Let
Ford
me
Heights
stop
and
you a little bit.
Robbins.
Let me throw something in this.
Yeah.
It seems to me that a nation that has the stomach to fight back against this type of invasive behavior is also a nation that wouldn't allow it in the first place, right? And I
Hmm.
don't know that we actually have the stomach to do the things that are being asked of us at this point. That's what I'm kind
Oh,
of worried about. So,
oh,
like,
certainly.
I don't know if I don't know if we even get to a lot of the implementation you're even talking about. Because here's the problem. In a place like in Denver and Aurora, Colorado, the problem is obvious, right? But the local city government, instead of addressing the problem as such. Like we have these criminal gangs taking over actual territory in the state on the state level. We have to actually target these individuals, decapitate the organization, all the traditional moves you would make, right? Instead of approaching it like that, they said we shut the building down for code violations.
Right.
Right.
You realize
Right.
how
Great point.
demoralizing that is. You are not a fighter. You're not built to win against this type of problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And oh,
I,
go
I
ahead.
just
Go ahead.
wanted to make a comment because this all sounds good, but when you look at how, like, this ain't the first new gang that hit, America or anything like that. I think that what will happen first off is that um, if you think the Mexican gangs are going to allow um, a preeminence of anybody else in the Hispanic community, you got a big problem. The second part is that um, the main thing is that the vouchers to house are providing a little bit more than what Section 8 would provide. So that will be the real issue as far as pushing black people out. Now, I'm saying this with a grain of salt because some of the things that have happened in certain parts of Chicago recently, that I ain't saying, because I ain't involved in none of this. I ain't in none of that. But it's everybody got cousins and all other type of shit. But the fact of the matter is that if you think that uh, the Mexican cartels is going to allow somebody else to make shit hot when they got shit going on as far as money is concerned, you got another thing coming. The second part is that um, the one thing that authorities do not want is an impetus for the the African American groups to say, "Hey, all right, I know we beefing with each other, but we got bigger fish to fry." They don't want any of that shit to happen.
Let me stop you right there. Let me dissect these 2 points really briefly, Dave. One, so you're talking about the cartels and whatever Latin American criminal organizations, right? So you're basically betting on one wolf pack against the other wolf pack, and that's an odd argument for the sheeps to be having. Um,
Who's the sheep?
America, you.
What?
Um, Yeah, yeah, because you're framing our salvation as, well, these other groups of Latin American criminals won't let that happen. Like, I'm supposed to feel good about, nigga, what the fuck are you even saying? Like, no, that shit's insane to think of it that way. No, and you're not wrong in that there's ethnic competition between the Latin gangs, but that's not going to help the problem in America. It doesn't make it better to have what? So the cartels are just going to take over the Cookie Monster business? Like,
This is
no,
why
no,
Dave got to
nigga.
die first,
No,
bro. This is
I
why
know,
Dave
I
dies
know,
first.
bro. Like, I know, cause
eh,
goddamn, Dave. And the second of all, you
That
have
wasn't
too
me.
much
That
faith.
wasn't me.
I know, but I'm saying you
You
have
just
too
so
much
used to
faith.
saying me.
You have Dave. You have too much faith in the black gang thing. Like the
No, I'm
idea of
not
the
banking
black
on it.
gangs coming together to achieve anything. Even if we came together, it's going to be a drop in the bucket of things we need to do.
well,
Um,
too, when
I
you
don't,
look at the
you know what
situation with the
I'm saying.
Venezuelans and the Mexicans, you have to understand that even though Mexico is where a lot of the cocaine and stuff comes from, you have to remember where a lot of the cocaine is produced in places like Colombia, Venezuela, so forth and so on. So if anything, we're going to see a lot of conglomerations between and cooperation between the Mexicans and the Venezuelans
What?
as far as the drug trade. You're going to
Yeah,
see it.
don't be disappointed, bro. That's how it works because it's
You're
easier to
going to
make
see it.
money than to make war, and they're gonna get tired of
That
killing each other
Y'all,
at some point.
y'all
So the
funny.
price of the
that's
bridges went
how
down. That's what you're trying to say.
Oh, uh,
that's how China moves. Rather
okay.
than wage war on their targets, what they do is they come with money and agreements, and they that's how they fight economic wars and make alliances through money rather than go out there like America and basically strong arm stuff like, hey, we gonna send these missiles at you if you don't do what we say. That's how the Chinese move, and the Mexicans are already doing that with the Latin Kings on the north and the south side of Chicago. Because if you look at Latin Kings on the north side, those are Puerto Ricans and other groups. Those aren't Mexicans. That's why you have two different Latin King crowns. One has
Yep.
5 points, one has 6 points,
Yep.
and that'll tell you more or less which group that is. Now, what the cartels did in Chicago on the north side of Chicago is they start incorporating the Latin Kings on the north side to handle cartel business on the north side, which is why you're starting to see a lot more shootings and kick doors on the north side of Chicago. And this was pre the Venezuelan influx. That's because the cartel is using those groups to handle business, and they're going to do the same with the Venezuelans. Mark my words.
Okay.
Donate to the show, people. Like, share, and subscribe. We are talking about the Venezuelan gang takeover happening in Colorado, likely coming to a city near you. There seems to be some hope and faith that the great black collective will come together and fight back the hordes of South American criminal gangs. And I think it's so cute that people believe that. It's fucking
No,
adorable
that's not
that
what
people
I'm
believe in
saying.
that.
That's
It's not
totally.
just you. There was, it's not
But
just you.
you're
You're not the only
rephrasing
person
what
to
I'm
believe these
saying.
things.
You're rephrasing what I'm saying, and that's not what I said. What
We'll
I'm
say
saying.
it again.
All right, here's what I'm saying again, and I'm going to direct this to like get a confirmation from the former law enforcement guy here. So it's similar to the situation when the previous election when Trump was like, "Yo, we're gonna put the National Guard on the streets of Chicago to deal with the African American crime and all of that." I wholeheartedly believe Trump wanted to do that. But somebody called him up and told him, like, look, that is not what you want to do because you have a cross section of working people who, if you push to a certain limit, you're just going to add to the ranks of people who you ranks to what you thought you already had. It's just going to swell,
It's not
which is the
exactly what
same
happened.
thing. The number one thing you have to understand here is money controls everything, and the one that you have to understand, if that shit was going to happen, it would have already happened with what with what we had here. But you got to understand, the cartels were literally just saying, look, it doesn't make sense to destroy our business going to war. And now you have a new group that doesn't, I don't know if they understand all of these different political different things, but what you can count on is two things. Money is going to rule out, which means that all that shit's gonna have to have a sit down pretty much to where it's like, look, man,
Nah,
all of this
Dave.
shit is bad for
Oh, wait,
I
wait,
business.
think,
wait, wait. No,
yeah,
no,
go
no.
ahead.
And,
You're
to
still
add
gonna
a
be a
point
slave.
to
In this situation, you're gonna be a slave, or I'm gonna have to kill you so I can go to war. Look, as a person who goes
Look,
outside,
nigga, why you keep saying you gonna kill me, bro?
because
Bro, Dave, because you don't hear what you're
Like real
saying and
talk,
you don't understand. No,
like
no,
I'm
Dave,
starting
you,
to like we
you
got
don't
a whole new
understand.
journey.
We're at,
Like
Dave,
I
Dave,
wasn't
it's
even talking to you, man. That was a yesterday shit, but you bringing that shit over to a whole
you started out with that shit, bro. You literally started out with it. You
they
first
don't
thing
like
out your
that
Oh
mouth.
no,
Hey,
shit.
I
you
said
niggas killed me
fallback
yesterday.
boys. You know that's y'all new name, man. When y'all group
I don't
together
even
again.
care about that. I don't even talk about that. I mean, you literally started out reminding
Uh,
us that we had the whole kill Dave thing yesterday, bro. And we saying it as a joke, but you don't get it. You don't get it.
Nah,
The
I don't
ideas
play
that
Yeah,
you
we're
around.
put
gonna turn this
forward.
into Weekend
I don't
at
play around
Dave.
with motherfuckers saying
No,
they
the
gonna do
Dave,
that.
let me explain it to you
Ain't
because
shit
it's
that
not a
ain't like
personal
that.
thing. We just making jokes, obviously. But
Don't talk to me like that.
the
I don't trust
idea,
y'all
bro,
like
is that you're saying things that would make our position so impossible that we would have to fight our way out no matter what. And so, like, well, if we got to fight our way, and you're the reason, you're the one making us have to fight so hard. Well, we got to fight you first. So, like, obviously, that's how things normally work. And so, like, when dirty folks said, like, listen, we got to kill you so we can go to war. That's the
that. Y'all
position
just
a
gonna
lot
keep
of
saying
America is in. No, that's the position a lot of America is in. That's the position a lot of right wing conservative America's feeling. Like, I'd actually have to go to war with my own government in order to go to war with the people who I need to go to war with.
Well,
I don't know how you
to back
phrasing it,
away from that point
phrasing it
to
like you
what
know.
Dave was saying, in addition to what Dave was saying about the National Guard, being a person who was in the National Guard for 20 years, what I understand about mobilizing the National Guard, it takes an act of Congress, which um, Trump had he had an oppositional Congress to where he couldn't get that done. And I think the same thing is going to happen because that's an act of martial law. And many of the people in Congress are real comfortable in their positions. And they know that if they did something like that, they're going to pay a political price that
But they
they
did
don't want to pay.
something like that. It was
Yeah, they did
called
it before and they paid
it
a
was no,
price.
no, shut, no, 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 no. I got this. They did something like that, bro. They called it a mandate. The COVID mandate was that I couldn't go to concerts. They wouldn't see a card. I can't go in stores. It was a curfew. Look, they did that at the same time.
Liberals
Like they
mostly
told
did
Trump,
that.
huh?
Liberals mostly did that. Yeah.
Right. The same liberals when Donald Trump, to be more accurate, when Donald
Yep.
Trump
Hmm.
offered the National Guard to Chicago, Lori
Yep.
Lightfoot said, "Not my
I was
city."
just about to say that, dirty. Yeah,
And
that vague little lesbian
soon
bitch.
as Trump
Boy.
got out of there, Lori Lightfoot called JB Pricks and said, "Yo, could you get the state police up here?"
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. Well, the thing with that too, which plays into what I said, because Lori Lightfoot is what she's a political person, and she looked at it as this is not going to be good for me politically. You're going to have that opposition in different places around the country because they look at that as a political risk that they don't want to take. That being
It's
That's like
said,
that's like saying Brandon Johnson taking all these migrants and housing them in, giving them X amount of money. If he doesn't do it, it makes him look bad. Despite the fact, even with this whole migrant crisis, all the other things we've been doing, he's been going down with ratings. So
again.
how?
I want to say something a tad bit drastic, but I want to just draw out the stark realities of things, right? And this is the difference between the networking and the practical abilities of like the left wing's organizations versus the right wing. And the right wing is kind of been attacked for like not being, aggressive. The right wing hasn't stopped anything, hasn't conserved anything. And the problem is this. Let's say you have people try to stop the situation in Colorado, right? You start to arrest these people, you want to segregate them or whatever, do all the hard nosed criminal justice things against these people. Then you're going to have a crop of lawyers pop up out of nowhere and say, wait, they have rights. You have to actually protect their rights. And so now the whole process of attacking this criminal problem gets slowed up by some weird legal issue, right? Now, legally speaking, there's not much you can do, right? But realistically speaking, those lawyers need to be harassed until they take another case. You see where I'm going? Like, I don't think the country is ready for that level of engagement because that is the kind of thing that's required. It's not just you arrest the criminals, you harass their supporters who wear suits and ties. You harass the people who show up to rallies and whatnot, right? Because that's really the target that has to be addressed as well. It's not going to happen. These kinds of problems don't get addressed because there's like armies of regular civilians who will make you politically impotent, like the Trump situation you were talking about. Trump is ready to send the National Guard in, but no, we can't send the National Guard in because some lesbian in a suit says we can't do it.
That part.
Helicopter rides, nigga. Helicopter rides.
Yo, let me jump in here. What up, Hood? What up, Dirty? What up? I'm listening to this conversation and I realize, man, niggas are weak,
I be saying that
weak
about
as
y'all
hell.
all the time. I'm including you. I be saying that about y'all
yeah,
all the time.
Hold on, hold
we've
on,
come to
hold on.
that
Let me finish,
conclusion a
man.
long time
Hold on,
ago.
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Let me finish, man. This
Nobody
idea that some black
that.
gang is going to do something, nigga, black gangs don't kill nothing but other black people. They gonna bow down to the Mexicans and Venezuelans like they did in motherfucking California. That's number one. Niggas,
I
stop
want to say,
dreaming. All
I
right.
don't know about
The
that.
only way,
Chicago niggas
and
different.
I
I'm
know,
just
you live in a dream world with the rest of the Americans. I know. Listen, The only way out of this is through bloodshed. We need to stop pretending. We ain't gonna kumbaya our way out of this. And another way out of this, another way out of this is you got to stop with all that female talk, racism, and white supremacy, and understand that the only way out of this for Americans and Black Americans is to grab their guns with the white Americans that's ready to get it in and get it in. That's it. All that other shit y'all talking about, it sounds soft.
Here's my
It's
problem with
soft.
here's
You
here's my
sound
problem
like
with
the
all the
feds
militant.
talking about revolution
Now,
on
now here's
YouTube,
my
bro.
problem with all the militant talk, right? And all of the black empire
Like, come
shit and
on,
all
man.
that, right? The we is always another group of men.
It's indictment talk.
That yeah, that too. But the we is always another group of men. The gang's gonna do it. That it's always another. It's never like I'm gonna grab my gun and three friends and the four of us gonna be back to back and we gonna hold down this corner. Because that's how gangs took over turf, and that's how the Venezuelans are taking over turf. Right? The rules don't change. Niggas just got softer because they listen to girls with clothes on. Nobody
There,
wants to pull the rifle, but everybody want to talk about somebody gonna pull the rifle.
you know what you realize as you age and you accept certain hard truths. It's like in the Matrix when Keanu was trying to bend the spoon, and the kid told him, "Don't try to bend the spoon. Realize there is no spoon, right? There are no rules, bro. Like to tell you the truth, it's like what you're willing to do and what you can get away with. But there really are no rules, especially when you come to like dire circumstances like these. It feels like America is approaching a point where there are no rules, and when there are no rules, you do whatever you have to do.
Are you calling for anarchy, Hood
I'm
Services?
not calling for anything. I am describing the temperature and the climate of the current situation. I do not call. I have no prescription for any such things.
Okay, got it. All right.
Yo, Hood, niggas don't understand when the situation is getting dire. They don't understand it. They still think the same rules apply. They still think the white man's coming to save them. That's the irony in all this.
I don't know. You tell me.
They believe a man's coming to save them, but it can't be their son. Remember that
Yeah, no
woman in
one's coming to
Baltimore?
save us.
You remember that woman
CMB, nigga, we all we got.
that
I
we got?
mean, like, nigga, this ain't nothing new.
Remember in Baltimore there was a strong fat black single mama and her son was protesting and she ran out there and snatched his hood off and beat him
She
up
was
on
like mom of the month right there. I remember that.
and then 6 weeks later she went on a 6 week press tour. 6 weeks later CPS locked her up. They paraded her around like, yeah, don't let your son be a man. And then as soon as she got off that little Good Morning America press run, they locked her up.
That's what she get for trying to make. Well, she ain't try it, but that's what she get for being famous. Not everybody's ready for the spotlight. You didn't want a spotlight on you, sweetie. Your life was fucked up. You should have just stayed quiet and let that boy run the street.
And he wasn't even doing. He was peacefully protesting. He was doing this American thing. The whole thing is that's what comes down to, right? The black mother privileges. I want my son to protect me, but he can't protect anything else. And then when it's time to protect, like, yo, anybody but my son. We need an army, but I don't want my son to go to service. We need somebody to get these boys off the street, but I don't want my boy. My baby ain't never hurt nobody, but he still got
Shout,
smoked at baby party.
Play it, Hood. Play
shout
it.
out,
Play
shout
it.
out, shout out to
I,
BGS because he mentioned that before with these so-called black militants that wanted to black female militants that wanted a revolution. His response to that was, okay, raise your son up to do that, to fight that war, and you send your son first. So yeah, Dirty is one hundred
and
percent
you know what?
correct
You know
on
what's
that.
crazy about that? And this is again, this is what I was talking about explaining certain things to my daughter the other day, and I had this point in the conversation where the idea of war comes up. Like women vote, but women don't fight war, but they vote to send men to war. This is why I don't think women should be voting, right? And so I
Bars.
and then I tell my daughter, like, do you know that some men actually love war? Like a lot of men actually love the idea of war, and she's like shocked at the concept of it. And what you just said about raising your son up to go off and fight a war, if you would have pitched that argument to certain men, they would do it. and it wouldn't even be that hard to think about because
like me.
everybody
White guys
understands
do
your country needs soldiers, your group needs warriors, and the guys
white
can get
guys
that
do it all the
fundamentally.
time. White guys do it all the time. I've
I've
literally
seen it.
served.
Yes, yes. You see the
I've
guys with their
served.
little sons with the pistols at the range.
I've served with guys that are like fourth generation army, and that was the thing in their family. That's what they do. They go to the army and they serve. They do time in the army because it's an act of patriotism to them. And the first thing they'll tell you, my dad did it, my grandpa did it, my great grandpa did it, and they can actually point to the different men in their family that have fought and some a lot of times died in wars. So, but
It's a
yeah,
rite of passage. That's the rite
right,
of fucking passage.
No
exactly.
such
Now
thing in
you're
female
not gonna see
culture.
that with right. You're not gonna see that out of Keisha, especially nowadays.
Oh, yes,
Keisha
you
nor
will. Yes, you
Becky.
will.
It's not really a thing in female culture. Like women don't have a history. Oh, my grandfather served in the revolution. No, my grandmother served in
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, they
Revolutionary
do.
War. Da, da,
In
da,
the
da.
Latino black culture here in Chicago, the gang culture is our by proxy paramilitary. We got not only great grandfathers that served in the streets, grandfathers that served in the streets,
Look,
fathers.
man.
I'll grant you that, but that's not the same argument, though. I'm
Right.
How
saying
come?
that's the true thing. Well, because serving in the gang is not the same as being generations in a military. One, the American military has a hundred or so year history, so we've got multiple generations, like people who have relatives going back to the Civil War. Some going back to the Revolutionary. Like, believe it or not, there are people in this country who can trace their lineage back to some poor guy who fought next to George Washington or some shit like that. And you can't compare that to my grandfather was an OG Crip.
And additionally, you Mr. O, you brought up the Hispanics. You have to remember that what are the Hispanics counted as in this country? More likely than not, and unless they're from the Caribbean, of Africanoid phenotype, they're considered to be white people. So they would
Yeah, well, I
fall
already
in
know.
that category of white
I
people.
know since 1930 they've been fighting to try to to beat white again, so I understand that.
I
But
mean,
since they are
look,
amongst the colors now, since they fake one of us, I had to include them too. You know what I'm saying? For DI
man, you
purposes.
really don't have to include them. You really don't. I'm not gonna act like we wasn't shooting at the Latin Kings on Avenue O and they wasn't shooting at us on 26 in California. I'm not gonna
Right.
act like that didn't happen. Look, y'all, every man but me. Look, this is why I need to be tribal warlord. Y'all need to be slaves, bro.
Dirty niggas is soft, bro. Don't want to admit the truth. Over
Bro,
here
it's
with all this black
terrifying.
and brown, with all this black and brown coalition, fake women babble bullshit. These people are the enemy and have been. Stop pretending.
Look, man, look. Here's the thing: you have allies. The people that are your allies are the ones y'all hate the most. Because everybody keeps saying you're waiting for the white man to come save you, which will make you them your ally. Keisha's your op. Hector's your op. Well, heck, no, Hector to connect. I'm not gonna front because I go
I was
outside,
about
right?
to say, man, like,
Because
geez.
I ain't gonna front. When I go outside, bro, every time I holler at Hector, they offer me 2 kilos. I'm like, you don't even know me.
You know what's funny about that? Black folk are gonna have to like get really, really racially particular about the Latinos we be racist to. Like, all right, Puerto Ricans, I
See,
guess
I get a
Dominicans, they
DI.
get a pass, right? But the other ones, the darker brown ones, we got to start looking at them a little bit more suspect.
You
Every time I go
talking about the
outside, man,
Belizeans?
All of
man,
them
look,
right now, because you know Puerto Rico is basically America. That's like low key the 51st state, but we're not gonna let y'all have no voting rights. But
right. But
Dominican
y'all keep
Republic, it's a bunch of Dominicans all over the country. They don't really be trying to do nothing crazy. They drive trucks and make food and shit.
same with
But the rest of
Jamaicans
them,
too.
it's a little bit aggressive with the rest of them.
Look, at the end of the day, man, I've met dudes from Venezuela and Colombia at parties. They be like, "Yo, you cool as shit, bro. Can you handle 2 kids?" I'm like, "Nigga, I'm listening to hip hop like you listen to hip hop." Because they're always looking for that black fall guy. They always want that connect to get into the hood because they weren't welcome into the hood until Keisha broke down the hood, and now Mexicans are moving in the hood at a rapid rate. But for a long time, it was a gun line, boss.
Yep.
So
Man,
They were
Keisha treacherous ass moving the migrant niggas into the cribs
man.
now,
Look,
bro. I just put
Keisha
that.
is the op. Everybody keeps talking about this black and brown. No, nigga, it's really black men, white men of all, nationalities. The shit. Shout out to the Germans, really. You know what I'm saying? I need some German friends. I got me a little Irish friend. I need a German friend.
Yeah, Germany going through it right now too. All of Europe is struggling
I
with the
I
same
I,
kind of
I get that.
awakening.
Somebody American channel your racism through me. But I remember Patrice O'Neill said that. But he was right. Give me all your racism powers. I got you. The
Make
the
racism great again.
the thing is, the black and brown coalition in real time didn't make sense for Jesse Jackson to be in Chicago and the Latin Kings and Satan disciples going against the blacks that hard in real time. And I'm like, is he serious?
I think
So
Dirty. I think you and I have, like, in our own roundabout way, come to the same conclusion that. And I was just kind of breaking this down. Like, I've sort of made an American hierarchy system, and I've put it this way: the main three Americans are whites, obviously, blacks come next, and then the Native Americans, because my bad, y'all. It had to be done, but and then Latinos get like an honorable mention as number four, but really it's three groups, and Native Americans really don't have much social or political movement, so it's just black and white. Therefore, black folk have more of an allyship. We have more allyship in white America than we do all the non-black. I mean, all the non-white people coming here after us to take over. And black folk and white folk need to kind of put some of our beefs to the side and just be racist against the rest of the world for a couple of years and see how that works.
but the racist, patriotic, however you want to call it. The here's a white problem. The white problem is they sons are cowards too. Purple haired little boys, DEI, little boys. There's a skit done by a white girl against a white girl, which is funny, right? A blue haired white girl who was talking about screw Gen X. And then there was this regular Becky. She was like, don't fuck with Gen X. They are the generation that hold grudges forever. The ones that have come through 3 years later and kill you for something you did 3 Christmases ago. Like those are the riders. Like you just go play your games and color your hair and be fake gay. Leave Gen X asleep. Leave the latchkey generation sleep. And I was laughing because I thought latchkey was a black thing. Apparently, it was a generational thing. Every boomer wasn't shit of all generations, and every Gen X had to, and earlier millennial had to get it out the mud of all generations. Last of the riders. The problem is these Gen X women wanted to show um their children all the things they didn't have because their parents was on crack or dad just went to get a cup of milk, or, whatever the case may be, and pussyfied their kids and made everything about structure and authority a bad thing. To the point that now they're saying math is racist. Math is racist because girls can't count.
You talking about that goofy ass bitch from the Chicago teacher? You was saying that goofy. Yeah, I got a video coming about that goofy ass strike. But yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Gen X was a murderous, but that's my point. But that's what's needed in times of hardship. A murderous generation.
I think we need something a little bit more pointed than just a murderous generation. You say that,
Yeah.
and I think like Clockwork Orange or something. I think we need something a little bit.
That's them. I mean,
Yeah,
old dog,
No,
Bishop.
that's not what we need,
the
though. That's not
butterfly
what we need.
revolution.
That was a long pause for some reason. I want to get to this clip.
I thought the
I wanted.
Venezuelans got you, bro. I thought they
I've been
got
wanting to review this clip for a few minutes. Hold on a second.
Many outgoing people, many of the residents that we talk to here simply say they have not had enough time to find more permanent housing, and they're really caught in the middle this morning.
I thought there would be some compassion, maybe a little bit of an extension to help these people find somewhere to go. They put some paperwork on our doors saying, if you find a place to go, we'll pay your deposit in first month's rent. I bet you $100 to $1. Nobody has been put or placed or helped find somewhere to go.
Now, the building's management says that the problem stems from gangs that have pretty much overrun the entire building and taken control of the building. They say it's not the code violations that the city claims. Now, many outgoing.
Yeah, your own government won't even work out the issue. Your own government is like, hey, listen, man, y'all just
No,
gotta get
but
up out of there.
Well,
this
it's
is years
going to go.
of
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say this is years of Democratic-led governments in a particular city called Denver that turned into a sanctuary city when all the so-called leftists want everybody has something free. They want to stick it to the so-called rich men of the so-called areas by making them into now a third world city. Because I mean, look at it. This is all blue written all over it, written all over it, and this is what they get. This is what they deserve, and this is what they're gonna keep on doing for
Well,
no matter who.
before I say that, before I agree with you, because it's easy to point and look at somebody else like we're not all Americans, right? Before I agree with you, look at what happened to Seattle. Look what happened to Portland. Look what happened to Oakland.
Even better.
Every time you get a gay mayor or a dyke mayor, your city crumbles. Chicago's on their second run of a gay mayor, back to back. So I'm not. I don't want to be so quick until I get about this bitch. I don't want to be so quick to look for the demise of blue cities. But I will say this.
I do. I live for this shit. Go ahead.
I will say this that nobody likes the way the medicine tastes. I was talking to Jap last night, and we were talking about the he was talking about the Central Park Five, right? How they were really criminals, even if they didn't, touch that woman, they still beat people and rob people, and they still deserve to be in jail. They still beat women. And they were celebrated by Kamala. Kamala Harris celebrated convicted, confessed criminals on stage at the conviction, at the convention with Al Sharpton introducing him as the keynote speaker. And I said, man, only in a society where black women celebrate their criminals and vilify the dudes that really want to make a change. Those are ones they cancel. They cancel the guys that want you to be better. It's not a tenable thing. Black is dead. Black is dead, bro.
Yeah,
The rebrand is
yo,
needed. Black is dead.
yo, dirty. It's funny you say that, right? It's funny you said that they vilified the guys that try to make the change. Um, I was watching Trigonometry, and Jordan Peterson put out a tweet to somebody and said, "Why do you hate me? The only thing I do is try to be a good man." And the guy, Constantine Kiffin, said to him, "You answered your own question." And basically, he was like, "Yeah, there's people that just want for this to go to shit, like just want to believe that like just celebrating the criminals and like just leaving things the way they are.
Hold on, American man. Wait. I don't think that was a significant fucking mass drop for Peterson. I remember Peterson specifically because I used to watch a lot of his content. Like before he turned to the dark side or whatever, I was going back and rewatching like his old lectures and stuff because a lot of his college work was on YouTube. And he had this one thing about, being a good man. He was like, don't try to be the good man. He said, you should try to be like dangerous or something. He actually spoke against that idea of being the good
I
man.
know, right? I know, right, Hood. Now look at him. Look at him.
Yeah,
No, no,
I
no, no,
remember that speech.
no, 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 no. I don't. I think. Hold on. I think that's being misinterpreted, right? He was saying good man, like don't be that simp type good man. Like I think that's being a little misinterpreted, right? Like being a good man is true, like truly being masculine and things like that. Like so, I think You guys may have taken that the wrong way. He meant like good man as in simp type bullshit.
Well, no, there's been people like people who've been watching Jordan Peterson for a while have kind of noticed a bit of hypocrisy with him, and so I don't know. Maybe we're missing each other here, but I thought I just connected some dots that I didn't notice before when you said that Jordan Peterson, like, he cried about, I've been trying to be, I just tried to be a good man this whole time. Nah, that's wild for him to say that. It's very ironic, bro. Trust me.
Nah, bro, I've been watching Peterson for a while as well. I
I'm not
actually have his
hearing
books too,
talk
but
about the money because, like, it's. I hear y'all, but all of this shit function on sales, bruh. And there's two things happening already. One, the funds have already dried up. Like, I'll be listening to WVON, you know what I'm saying, anything like that. I know they lean certain
What
way on.
funds? Funds for who are you talking about?
Okay, so you have vouchers for living and eating and all this other different type of stuff.
Oh, the legals.
Right. And that's kind of drying up, right? So everything that you're talking about, the expansions and all of that, that is literally funded. Without that funding, it doesn't happen. The second part of the money is you're dealing with I don't like saying, the drug sales and all that other type of shit. So when things start affecting normal operations of what you're getting every month and everything like that, then you have to take that into account. So what I'm saying is this: it only goes so far, because at the end of the day, once that crime starts affecting uh, uh, how you function with certain connects and everything like that, like I said, the people you're talking about don't really run it. They don't on screen. They ain't running it. They're the newcomers. So as that starts to disrupt the normal flow of trade, bruh, shit change. As well as once
Honest with
police.
everything but trade with you, and I respect trade. But if you don't have guns, you're just stacking things for the bigger bully. If you can't protect what you have, then why did you get it?
And Dave, it seems like you're describing this as if these are all totally natural, organic occurrences, and we're like in some kind of cyclical and environmental thing, right? Where it rains and then it dries, and then it rains and then it dries. Like, I don't think it's quite as organic as you seem to make it appear. This is
Define
something
organic.
that's, but
What do you mean by
right,
organic?
right. So if it's being done intentionally, why do
Right.
you think these same people who are doing it intentionally will somehow say, "All right, that's enough. We're going to make everything like it was before"?
Because the coffers are already, it's already been out. I'm just talking about where
America
Chicago
prints
land.
money. Things are
I'm,
expensive
I'm
because of
just talking about
inflation.
Chicago
America
land.
prints money.
Like, the coffers are dead. Like right now. So in the beginning,
Maybe
it
it's
was
not about
heavy.
the money though. Not in the way you see it, anyway.
Oh well, let me mute if you think it ain't
Look,
about the money.
here's the thing, bro. We're living in a country, and we've been like this since the communists took over 60 years ago, right? Well, especially since Reagan. Reagan wasn't no commie, but well, Bush Jr. Since Bush Jr., right? Because I think Clinton was a commie, right? Since
Oh
that
yeah,
time,
Clint was definitely a fucking commie bastard. So yeah,
since,
yeah.
since, since that time, we've had consistent commie, right? We've been consistently commie, right? We had a Trump break, but he didn't get much done. Here's the thing: once your government looks after everybody except their taxpayer, you're going to have a revolt. And the discussion that Dave is saying about the Venezuelans, which may be accurate, is the same discussion that the red pill been talking about women living off the system for 10 years.
No, this is the same situation they had in fucking France with Rose Pierre had basically told the parliament, let's get rid of the nobility. Let's go ahead and get rid of King Louis and put that bitch Marie Antoinette into a nice haircut, give her the best
Well,
haircut that
well,
money could
no,
ever
no, no.
fucking buy.
King Louis went down because for the same reason that King Ahab went down, right? Because Ahab listened to
To Jezebel. So America is
Jezebel,
listening to
and he
fucking
listened to
Kamala.
Antoinette. Any man who listens to a woman is doomed to fail. History shows you that, but yet and still, black men listen to women, want to vote for women, think women can run households, think women can run communities. anytime you listen to a woman, even at the top tier level, you're doomed to fail. The black and brown communities are going to go down because they listen to women with clothes on, and the government is going to go down because they fund women with clothes on to go against the men. 70% of all tax paid services come from men. 70% of the tax paying money is men. Only 30% comes from women. Women are a net negative in the workforce. Women are a net negative in the home. Well,
And
without,
yeah, yeah,
without
yeah.
adult supervision. Like her in the home by herself, her and her kids, she's a net negative. The kids can't read and everybody violent or cowardly. So they've intentionally weakened America for 60 years. Even Klaus Schwab is talking about, man, the new world order is going to be when we can put women and gays in power. Once you play the crayon game, you listen to girls with clothes on. Once you play the man game, you realize you have allies, but you got to ditch your bitch to get it. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Yo, J Powell, America died in the 80s, bro. Slow death though, probably in the 90s. I don't know if you realize, but we on a loop, been on a cultural loop of 1993 for the last 30 years, bro.
Sort of like in the Matrix. If you watch the original Matrix, their rendition of peak society was basically like the late 90s. Because remember, technically, they all lived thousands of years or hundreds of years in the future. But if you go back into the Matrix, the program, it was like 1998.
A hood. You see that alleged study? Apparently, study came out talking about what the migrants have cost taxpayers in 1 year. 150 billion.
No, I was going to say everything, bro. The answer is everything. That's what
Yeah,
they've cost us.
yeah, but
Everything.
I'm just saying direct money. And then people talking about like, oh, like this is good for the economy. I'm like, how's it good for the economy? Like, cause I mean, Ann Coulter pointed out years ago, you can't have like this, like welfare state that you just allow anybody on and open borders. You just can't do it. You don't have a country. She was right.
The only
It's
job of the
obvious, bro.
president is to protect your borders, right? To protect you from all terrorists, both foreign and domestic. So you're letting foreign terrorists come into your nation with no border, and then they're becoming domestic terrorists that take over Aurora, Colorado, and you're saying, "Yo, stand down, let them be." You don't have a
Well, what
government.
does it say about your own government that condones it? Like, and this is why I keep comparing it to like all the European countries because it can't be an ironic coincidence that Europe is being flooded by non-Europeans at the same time Australia is being flooded by non-Australians and America is being flooded by non-Americans. And it's like, what does it say about all these governments who are basically like abusing their own people at this point? Like,
This
it's
is
wild.
empire. This is empire residue of hood. Think about it. This is all British problems that caused with the transatlantic slave trade when it got involved. All them places, Australia, America, Canada, all these places was once under British rule. And look at fucking England. I mean, we all going down like a well on a boat. I mean, we vote for this shit because a we want to go ahead and use outside forces to fund our so-called delusional hypocritical laps of luxury lifestyle. But at the same time, though, we want to be the big shots, but everybody at the bottom, they want to get a little piece of the pie. They want a little bit of the milk too. So they want to come over here and get their little wings spread for the American dream. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
we
but
have too
Mr.
many
O,
people at the bottom. We have
Okay,
too many people at the bottom, and now all the people at the top, they looking like, oh shit, someone's
I'm
got to pay for this, man.
I'm
yeah,
about to
but
go rumble.
Mr. O, this ain't organic though.
Yeah,
You
this
like
ain't organic.
you got NGOs and all this stuff giving people roadmaps and like forms and stuff like that for when they get in for legal arguments and everything else. This is actually by design. I mean, there's
Right.
multiple
They
NGOs,
did this
man,
in
like all
Rome.
over the
But
world,
Everything
but
man.
by design, like you
but
said. Everything. Look, they did this first in Rome, bro. Everything that you
hold
talking
hold
about, they
on,
did
hold
in
on, wait,
Rome
wait, wait,
first.
wait. I'm not gonna let you be like second class races on this one. Britain,
I'm first class with my shit, sir. I don't know what you're talking about. First class with
fine,
mine.
Farley, man, but check this out. This is not well, it's a Britain thing because the World Bank is in Britain. I'm about to teeter on Rumble content type of thing. I'm going to watch what I say, even though I'm not sharing it. I'm just going, I'm gonna act like you monetize. Look, if you really want to go back, Britain was the first nation to abolish slavery. Not officially, they just like, nah, no slavery. When the American Revolution started, Britain was like, yo, if y'all fight for us, man, ain't no slavery. Um, France also abolished slavery, but France was hands off when they had their colonies anyway. When they had, Michigan and Florida and all that, they were kind of hands off. They were just trading pelts. The issue wasn't the Atlantic slave trade. It's not the like the the chickens coming home to roost. The problem is the World Bank. There was a time in which all the places that Bush said were the axis of evil, the reason they were is because they didn't have a World Bank. They weren't part of the central banking system.
So we was gonna shift it to the small hats because all that ties into the small hats,
All right,
Mister
cool.
Hope.
Let it be that. Let it be that. But I'm saying don't put it on Brit. Put the blame where I want you to have the right enemy. Y'all niggas been fighting the wrong enemy for a long time. You've been shooting at fucking Semites and Keishas the whole time.
Yeah, but if you're gonna talk about
Hold on,
the
real,
if
real
you're gonna
quick.
talk about the if you're gonna talk about the central banks though, you ain't just talking about small hats.
Whoa! All the motherfuckers. Hold on. What is this at?
This is called the Darien Gap. It's like one of the major crossing points in that South American route for the migrants.
That gap
Freeman's
is
Journal.
between
Freeman's Journal. Hold on. Let me get Freeman up here real quick because you tried to join earlier and you dropped off, man. You've been wanting to get on this panel for a second.
Hey, how's it going?
Evening,
Man,
afternoon.
look, man, black isn't an option, right? Black is over. Team Black, you are a free agent, right? Keisha's destroyed the community, and nobody cares anymore. I don't know. I saw that. Dear Hood, did you play that snippet from Aaron Magruder, the guy who did Boondocks? Anyway, I'll put it in the back chat.
When he did that little
I
when he did
haven't,
that
and
little press.
I've been meaning to play that, and I just
Yeah.
that's a great thing to end the show off on. Honestly, let me get that up.
Yeah. So yeah, black isn't really an option. I mean, half of black people are useless, right?
Half.
The other half,
How about 3/3? I mean,
I
two
was thinking
thirds,
like
two
I
thirds.
25%.
mean, I'm being
Easy.
generous. I'm
Easy.
being
I was putting
generous here.
25.
And the people that are functional are already integrated and really don't care. I mean, you could argue, I've referred to black flight so many times in my streams now. Y'all should get the point if you follow Hood Conservative, right? Um, it's over. It's over. You are a free agent. You need to take 20th century thinking and flush it in the toilet because we aren't there anymore, right? What's going on right now is what Merkel did to Germany 20 years ago, right? So it is going to take a radical political shift against illegal immigration. That is your last and best hope. That is it. There
Not
isn't.
even illegal immigration. This is why people are pissed at Trump because people on the right, and especially if you get into like the far right, the Fuentes crowd and whatnot, the red elephants and all that kind of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
they're saying zero immigration. And I
Oh, I
tend
get
to
it.
agree because look at these people that just walked in here. Like, we have enough people for whatever things that need to be done. We have enough people for all the things. And then not only that, we have enough people to even make more. So we can actually kick these people out and not take any people in for a little while and then, get our stuff together.
Oh yeah,
And
exactly. That is part of the larger goal of actual integration and assimilation, right? You got groups coming over here, they're not even giving their kids Christian names. I'm not trying to vote for Vivek. I'll vote for Greg Ramaswamy long before I vote for Vivek.
I mean,
So
yeah, and I like Vivek, but it's another brown foreigner. I'm always suspicious now.
yeah, I mean, America has to figure it out, right? This is a starting over, right? What is old is gone. It's decaying right in front of your face on that
America,
video, trudging across that river.
Well,
America's
So
already figured it out.
this is the tough. I'm
no,
gonna
no,
translate what you said. What you said literally is, if you want that. Now I'm not playing. I'm not on. I'm like, trust me. I'm against the border wide open, all that other type of shit. But what you just stated, be prepared, because we're dealing with a baby boomer generation that is passing away. And the way economic works, if you want to keep the
And
economy
good riddance.
fast, you're gonna have to have the same amount of people. So
No, you
are
don't.
you
Are you
prepared?
No,
working in a factory, sir?
no,
Why do you need
you
the same amount of people?
you don't though.
Fuck it.
And
All right,
honestly, I think when you I
I
think
can't
when
get
you
to
make
finish
it,
the sentence, but
Dave, I'm gonna kick it right back to you. But let me say this, because I know three people just cut you off. I'm gonna kick it right back to you. When you make it about money, I think we missed the point. Nationalism isn't about money. My blood and my soil is worth more than all the money. You got it back, Dave.
exactly.
okay. So the, I'm just describing what the situation is and certain things and why they happen.
There are enough idle hands
All right, I'm
to pick up the slack.
Yeah, but
Period.
the whole system is based on a Ponzi scheme right now. So if the boomers die off, you don't need all that money. You don't need all the workers or whatever to support the people at the top.
Right? Because
But are you prepared? This is all I'm saying.
Look, man, look, I was at a
I haven't
illegal
even
I
said
was at
shit.
a
Why is it
illegal
I can't say
immigration
shit
forum.
and y'all already know what the fuck I'm saying?
yeah,
And
we
Let
know
me
what
my
you're
just get
saying,
this
and that's
here's
statement
the
what's
out,
thing,
bro. Let
man.
me just
right
get
you.
this statement out before you respond to what I'm saying. Let me just say it so that you can respond to it, because you responded to something I didn't say because I
Hurry
ain't said
up.
shit yet.
Hurry up.
So here it is. Your Dow, your S&P 500, your 401k, and all that other type of shit depends upon a populace to keep the size of an economy
Why?
of what it was
Why?
when
If,
boomers were
why
alive.
would my
Okay, hold on,
S&P?
hold on, hold on,
No,
hold
no,
on,
no,
hold
no,
These are
on.
no,
the
no, no.
tough
Let me help him with
decisions.
a
Stop.
simple
No,
math.
hold
Don't
on,
argue
Dirty.
with
Let,
me.
let
I'm
the
just
man
telling you.
finish.
Let
Give
him
him
talk,
30
Dirty.
seconds. Give him 30 seconds.
Makes no sense.
I'm
All
just
right,
telling
Dow
you.
S&P.
That's
Dow
all I'm
S&P,
saying
like
is
100% of Americans
okay. I
put
agree
in
with
on
34.
you.
Dow.
Give him
Are
30
you
seconds.
prepared
34.
for
Give
it
him
when
30
dropping
seconds.
your investments? That's really the discussion.
Okay, we're gonna
Okay,
lose
so
money going to
I'm here
war.
for.
Understood.
my
That's very common. Yeah.
You
my
making it go
response is I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I do not care in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Fuck all that shit you talking about. They all gotta go. Period. I don't care if chicken is $13 a pound. They all gotta go.
They gotta go, man. They gotta get the fuck up out of it. That keep
Okay. Oh,
Rothschild
wait,
them.
wait, wait, wait. All right, check this out.
I'm not putting
The
a
S&P
position
5. No, no,
forward.
no, no,
I'm
no, no,
just
no. Let me help you
presenting
out. Wait, wait, because
your
you're gonna
facts of
make
how
me act
shit
smart
go.
real quick. I'm trying to keep my game banging hat on, but this shit is just too dumb. That's why you got to go. Look, the S&P 500 is based on the 500 top companies. Most companies are quote unquote small businesses, which means they make 5 million or less a year, right? So you have 500 major companies that make the S&P. That's great, fantastic, fantastic, right? Now, not only do they have to do that, but then they have to be publicly traded, right? So Bad Boy ain't gonna make the S&P. Mars ain't gonna make the S&P, right? Not gonna be able to get you little Snickers and make money every time somebody eats a Snicker, right? So they have to want to have shareholders. Then people have to want to invest in that company. 330 million Americans don't invest in any company, in anything, anything. 330 million people don't do shit. So you still got the same 2, 3 million people that invest. You could reduce this motherfucker to 30 million and the S&P wouldn't change at all. Because they global companies. They're selling candy in Africa. You still don't need the people. They gotta go. They gotta go.
Hey, also too, man. When I said the Ponzi scheme, I'm talking about the welfare state and like the retirement funding on the government side and all that. that is actually that right there in itself can destroy your economy as well as your country by bankrupting it. That in itself can do it all by itself. Even if you doubled how much money you brought in by the your was it the measure for success is what it's
I'm
largely
just waiting for
debt
y'all to
based.
understand solution. Americans need to have more babies. Like
Let me
that's
let me
all.
jump in real quick. That is true, Dave. Let me jump in. Survival just dropped a $5 cash app. Thanks for the donation. He says doing good work, man. Appreciate that. And guys, we got a lot of people listening here. We got a full house right now. So one of y'all like the video. One of y'all other motherfuckers throw $1 or two in the hat, and we're gonna keep this thing going for a little while longer, man. I think I got like another 30, 40 minutes in this show, and then we gotta wrap this thing up. But appreciate all of y'all being here. Like, share, and subscribe, and throw $1 in the hat while y'all here. All is appreciated. Every dollar helps. And nobody in Black YouTube seems to be talking about this thing. I don't know why this migrant thing isn't worrying Black YouTube the way it should. Like, niggas are still trying to uncrack the pussy code. Like, I mean, they trying to crack the pussy code. Every Black channel I see is dudes talking to girls about how dudes and girls should talk to each other. That's 90-some% of Black YouTube right now. And then there's like, just regular bullshit niggas that fight all day on panels. But
Yeah, that means that coming back to the table bullshit. That shit got old as hell, man. But yeah, you right, Hood. You right.
You know
yeah, it's
what?
not kind of
The,
conversation going on. This is why I ask you guys throw $1 in the hat to keep this thing alive. But yeah, I'm gonna kick it back to the panel. You guys got it.
Bug man, the tether conversation. You know what? The tether conversation is a gang conversation for people who are afraid to join gangs, so I don't pay attention to them. Right? Um, go ahead, Freeman. Rock out.
You know why I never joined a gang? You know, I
No,
never joined a gang.
You had a dad.
True. True.
That's like 90-something,
Another.
90-some percent guarantee.
Well, look,
Dudes with dads, not much gangmen. They don't make good gangbangers.
there was a period. Well, there was a period when I didn't have my dad in my life, so it could have went either way. But I specifically remember thinking to myself, you know what? I have a future. I'm not gonna throw my life away like these morons selling weed, risking freaking prison terms for what? So I can hang out on the corner swole as fuck? No, no. I have a future. I'm not doing that.
No, like I mean, how appealing is it though? You got to join an organization. They got to beat you up before you can join, and then you got to do everything like these motherfuckers say, regardless of what I'm saying how you feel about it.
okay.
And I'm
You
like,
know what?
I just be
Yo,
independent.
okay, as a member, former member, the reason why they have to jump you in to see if you can fight. Lord forbid if you are in the middle of a gang beef in the streets, or Lord forbid in Cook County, if you cannot throw hands and they see that, not only you gonna get your ass whooped by the other gang, your own gang gonna kick your ass for being a bitch.
You know
Yeah,
what? I'm
but
not even gonna go that far because I
I could
didn't get
take
jumped
I
in.
could do what the police unions used to do, right? And I could throw sanctioned boxing matches, and I can train them up on how to
All right,
throw hands
all right,
properly.
that's cool. And I didn't even get jumped in. Well, I did get jumped in one game. Um, the jump in that you guys see on colors is no different than Hell Week that you go for the frat, which is no different than riding a goat, which you do with the Masons. Everybody beats you up to jump you in. That that
Small to
that
be.
that's something I'm not even concerned about that part. A 30-second act of violence. I'm not even concerned about that part. I I I won't even disagree that that lower level anything will be the example because they outside lifting weights on a light pole. A lower level anything will be like that's why I don't want to be that until you realize a bunch of your politicians are that. A bunch of your sports figures that's not gay is that. The ones that's gay wasn't that. They should have joined the gang. I can't watch Kevin Garnett because every time he talk, he like, yeah, Lord, peace, Lord, man, check this out, Lord. I'm like, oh, he on his wife's Lord shit. People think he religious if they not from Chicago. I'm like, oh, this nigga on that traveling wife's Lord shit heavy. There is there is a, and I got a dad, right? My dad's still alive. there's certain things that you don't do when you have a dad. But the ability for me, the ability um to move around it as a social circle, because in certain places it's almost a social club. You go to
Yeah,
meetings, you
everything
pay
is.
dues, you wear t-shirts, y'all go to the movies together. It's more than just we sell
Our
weed.
games was a social club. We forgot dirty. We had the jackets and everything, but we was a social club before we was a gang.
Right. And then you get hoes, right? Because hoes fuck the logo. So they be like, I want to be part of y'all logo. All right, give me some pussy. They fuck in. You get them an option. You want to fuck in or fight in. I'll fuck 30 niggas before I fight one fat bitch. All right, cool. Run the train. There
That is
the
terrible.
it's
But go
life,
ahead.
bro. And then they take a
Look,
shower.
You
you
guys
but
wanted to hear
dirty.
about gang life. No, don't back
Hey,
out now. You got to fuck
hey,
the fat bitch, and you're
hey,
number 4.
hey, but dirty. There's a lot better ways of doing it, man. Case in point, right? I was the quote unquote CD man. Everybody needed me, man. Everybody needed the CD man.
Everybody need to connect. But no matter what type of connect you are, everybody need to connect. And then you want to be able to have a free and fair commerce policy, right? So as the CD man, nobody really pay attention to CD man until you become soldiers at war and they realize you moved a million CDs at $10 a piece. And
Man, why you going hard on soldiers that war, man? They
I'm
had
not
it
going
was
hard on them, bro. They was going down some shit. It was like 80 of them niggas with them orange t-shirts selling CDs on every traffic light in the city. They was
it was
going,
100 of them dudes. I was in high school with them niggas on 79th Street, bro.
they was going wild. Come to find out, they had to get jumped in, pay dues, and wear t-shirts too, right? But
Yeah,
What y'all
but
talking about? Soldiers at war?
but
yeah, it was a hip hop group on 79th,
Oh man,
right there,
they
yeah,
Hofstad.
and everywhere. They was
everywhere.
everywhere selling their CDs in
I
Cologne.
I want to kind of segue off of the Chicago thing, because y'all Chicago niggas be doing Chicago nigga stuff. I got to reel y'all in every so often. I want to kind of get to the last part of the show, and I've been meaning to comment on this clip. There's several reasons I could have brought this clip up on different streams, but we're finally going to get to it now.
I really want you guys to understand that time is running out. And a lot of black people say that, but for real. Part of why the civil rights movement has been so successful, and part of why those who have come after in terms of our leadership have been able to maintain a presence, is that black people have always had a certain amount of moral currency that we have been using. And let me be the first to tell you, that's used up. White America has been watching us act like fools for a long enough time where any sympathy they may have had to our plight is completely gone. You're approaching a country that, forget hating black people or not hating black people, they just don't care. You can be talking about affirmative action, they can be like, I don't care. It literally is of no importance to me. I don't care about slavery. I don't care about segregation. I don't care about you. I don't care how many of you all go to jail. I don't care at all, because I'm broke. You can't be the proud, noble fighter when every single time someone sees a person that looks like you on television, they're acting like a damn fool. How would they know? How would they know you're not a damn fool? They're going to talk to you? Yeah, right. This is what we're facing. Now, this was not a very motivational speech because I'm not a motivational speaker.
Is he? Who the fuck
I
are
got
you
to be honest.
watching?
So wait,
This is Aaron McLeader.
that don't matter to me. I'm a critic. That's what I do for a living.
Man, these silly
I'm not here to
ass
tell you you can
bro,
do it because you know what?
shit,
Maybe you
bro.
just can't do it. I'm going to be real. I'm going to be real. I hope you can do it. I hope to God you can do it. You better do it. Because if you don't, will you suffer? Yeah. But your kids are going to catch hell. You guys are it. Don't think about Jesse. Don't think about Al. They will not be there.
Yep.
Damn,
Negroes over.
talk that shit.
Dave,
And
Dave,
look how
that's
old that was. Right?
that's the
That
creator of the
wasn't recent.
Boondocks.
Yeah, that's like 2000 or
No,
something.
but here's the
Yeah.
thing. It's another fucking celebrity trying to take. Look, y'all gotta
He's
understand
not a
that
celebrity.
celebrities ain't here to talk to you. They here
Yeah,
to
but he
soothe
no
other
no no
groups.
no.
He ain't no
He's not a
celebrity. He the nigga that
celebrity.
made the Boondocks. He a
He's
damn
not a
prophet.
celebrity.
Fuck it.
Like you didn't know who he was. He's not a celebrity. Most people wouldn't pick him out of like a grocery store line.
You know, Dave. Sometimes when you talk, I get the impression it's like you're talking to an unruly flock. Like we just won't listen to whatever you're preaching, and it's frustrating as a
No,
preacher when
I'm used to
the
it,
flock
man. It's
won't
all
listen
good.
to him.
No, and we treating Dave like this is Lord of the Flies.
Really, bro, Piggy got it bad, bro. They did Piggy rough on Lord of the Flies. That was my shit.
I ain't
Yeah,
even seen that
Piggy.
movie. I don't think I ain't seen.
You never seen Lord of the Flies, bro?
No, you gotta
Listen,
read the book. The book
difference,
more
man. I
fucked
ain't no
up.
Yeah, you gotta read the
TV
book.
ass
Book go
nigga, man.
crazy.
I
Well,
really
no,
ain't.
it was a
No, no,
good
no.
it was a
Mr.
good
Miss
movie.
O's
It
talking
was
about the
one of those
book though.
things because I had to read for my high school reading list. I had to read the book and then I watched the movie later on. But bro, it's brutal shit, and it gets to like the simplicity and the brutalities of basic male nature and how the boys. Young boys, they just easily devolved into like little warring camps and they formed their own little hierarchies with the little rituals and customs. They went to war with each other. It was a very like anthropological movie, but it was fucked up at the same time because these are real kids. They were about to kill each other. It wasn't like a game. They were like trapped on some deserted island or something. Like it was a wild movie. You gotta
But
watch it one day.
the
But
white
Yeah,
man's
I do the
game.
book. Yeah,
The
that's
white
how my
man.
cynicism developed.
Hey, what's crazy to me though is all these literary works of art that we like looked to and had to read or whatever. How I'm seeing them play out. I'm seeing Animal Farm right before my eyes.
That's what I was gonna say. Lord of the
1984.
Flies remind me of Animal Farm too. They had
1984 has been playing out since 2020.
man. I saw 1983 happen like 10 years ago. Like Facebook brought in 1983. I'm like, what the fuck?
84, nigga. 84,
In
nigga. Come on now.
1984, like,
No,
whoa.
no. Hey, Dirty talking about 83 was a good year.
And now 83 was the year I lost my dad. Right? He's still alive, but that's the year I lost him. Oh,
that nigga just
Damn.
wandered off one day.
Well, boom's gonna boom. I mean,
boom,
what you
boom, boom,
expect?
bro.
We forgot about the number one of them all, man. We all been living in the Matrix, and we about to live in Terminator with AI. You know what I'm saying? Skynet, AK Meta. Yeah, yeah. I
You
don't
know
like
what?
how this shit turned out.
I would always wonder, like, and I think this we can debate this closing the show out. What apocalyptic future are we most likely headed toward? And I think it's gonna be most like the Hunger Games. I think that's why Hunger Games was such a popular movie because it was really original. It was based on like an original work. It wasn't like some sci-fi novel from the 40s or whatever. But the if you look at how the populations are constructed, right? Very high tech and very low tech at the same time.
I would
And
say Divergent. I would say Divergent and Demolition Man meshed together with the
Demolition Man
little.
is possible. I think
Oh,
Demolition Man and Hunger Games like could
dude,
exist in the same
Dem-
universe. Like it was
That's why I say
Demolition
Demolition
Man
Man,
Divergent.
before it went national.
Nah,
Demolition
I
Man
think,
already exists. Demolition Man
yeah,
is that's current. That is
yeah.
already happening with
I
the
Right.
think,
I
I
did
think,
a whole
spaceships and all
show.
that.
I don't know. Like Demolition Man is hard to believe because that's way too many competent people for the lack of reading levels right now. So
That's
I don't
why I
know.
said Divergent.
Well,
Divergent had
no,
everybody
don't
grouped
forget.
in class.
Don't forget, I did demolition. I did a whole stream on Demolition Man and like the racial overtones of it, and a lot of the true ethnicity was actually the people underground, right? And so I
Mhm.
think that's how you would work that problem out for us. Like all the people who can't read,
Hmm.
eventually they'll just all live underground.
Oh, and Soylent Green. Don't forget about Soylent Green.
The thing
It's,
about
see, that's where movies. I'm gonna say this right. This ain't no fucking movie. Like what you gotta
How come the
understand
fucking name?
as America decline, you hear people saying, "I'm here for the opportunity." Well, you have to also understand what happens when opportunity is no longer there. People ain't gonna be here. They're
Okay,
gonna
I get
Well,
what it is.
I hear you, Dave, but we're not in that part of the show now. Now we're
No,
talking about which
no, no,
apocalyptic
no,
future are
no,
we headed toward.
Apocalyptic thing.
no, no,
I'm
no,
mute,
no.
man.
Wait, no. I get
Dave
Dave.
is having a hard
Thank you.
time
I
with us
mean,
today.
fuck it.
Thank
Bro,
you.
you
I,
gotta
I
no,
you
I
gotta
just
appreciate
got
put
that.
up
Dave.
the
Fuck it.
Dunning
What's
Kruger
gonna
face.
happen? How do you see this playing out? I start saying it. We're not talking about that.
No, I just got
Let me
Dave
send you
just
the
now.
Dunning Kruger face, Hood.
I just got Dave just now, y'all. Follow my flow, man. Y'all roll with me, right? Y'all roll with me, right? Dave is black. Now, this is what that means, right? When when you're black, you're of America, but not attached to America. Like this not your country. Like it's some arbitrary shit that white people own, but you live here. Like you wasn't fucking born here, right? Dave black. So Dave thinking money when everybody else thinks money, and this is why it's bigger than money, Dave. When everybody else thinks like America's a whore that I can fuck and hopefully I can pimp and send the money back home, you don't see America as home. You black. You don't see America as home.
Or Babylon.
You
Man,
don't.
I don't know
Hold
what
on, you
I
let
don't know
Dave
what
knock us
you're
off. We
talking
were
about.
having a fun game. So Demolition Man was brought up.
Yes,
Right?
and I
Which
said
which
Divergent.
apocalyptic future are we headed for?
Hey,
Right? 'Cause
that's
I'm
me with
trying to
Snowman.
tell you,
Snowman
it's
go.
more,
For
Snowman on the left.
it's more desolation than anything y'all talking about.
no,
What I'm
it's
put
saying
it
more
in
is,
movie
Well,
terms, Dave. Relate it to a
what
movie. We're
what
past that part of the
I
show
I'll
don't
say
do
now.
Walking Dead,
movies, man. I ain't
Hood.
that movie nigga that you looking for.
Well,
hey,
I'll say The Walking
no,
Dead.
no, like
you
that. The
can't
niggas
do
die early
nuance.
in the
You
movies,
can't do
man. So
nuance, man.
probably
Abstract
not.
thinking, that's if
I
it's
know,
past
The
bro.
Chicago
last movie
gangs,
I
forget
watched
it.
was Spider Man
I,
because I took my kids to it,
this
dog. I
nigga
don't
said
watch.
Spider Man.
I don't
If
watch
it's
this shit, dog.
outside
It's
of
real
Chicago
life,
gangs,
man.
forget it, Hood. But
I
here's
hear
the
you,
thing:
Dave. I hear you, Dave.
Hunger Games has a huge plot hole, right? The cities are full of incompetent liberals that need the rural areas to actually send them stuff, right?
Well, no, that's the thing.
At some point, they just stop sending stuff because they don't want to be ruled over.
That's the thing about Hunger Games, though. It's actually yeah. You got all the
Okay,
weirdo
look at Eli.
liberals, the cat lady, and the funny looking people. They all the modern fashion people, right? But if you look at like Snow's inner circle, there's obviously a technocracy somewhere in there. There has to be a technocracy underlying that whole liberal largesse, because otherwise, how would the trains actually run on time? Because the trains do run on time.
True, but it's like, how do they get the food though?
The
Okay,
trains.
Right?
I don't know.
That's
That's you,
that's
you're not
that's
totally wrong. There is a
that's the
problem
plot
there.
hole.
I'm
That there's
relating
a
it to a
huge
movie. The
plot hole
closest
there.
thing I'm trying to describe, the closest thing, but it ain't even close, is Book of Eli. In Book of Eli, you had a lack of population.
God damn it, Dave. Thank you. Now you're
You
playing the
had a lack
game.
of
He said,
population. What
"Now
I'm
you
trying
playing
to
the
tell
game."
you is that as opportunity dries up, a lot of people, not me, I ain't going nowhere. There's only a few group of motherfuckers that this is the shit, no matter what, good or bad. But you got to understand, a lot of motherfuckers is here for opportunity. They tell you that shit. When that opportunity dries up, they not finna sit here and suffer with motherfuckers who this is their shit. It's not finna happen. So what
So
you
why
got to
not fight
understand,
and kill for your shit?
is when the times get tough, a lot of motherfuckers is leaving. A lot of motherfuckers is leaving. You're dealing more with what I would consider a cantonization, like with South Africa. Not technically no, because they ain't nobody left there like that. But you're assuming that as the economics ain't here and the opportunity ain't here, motherfuckers just gonna stay here and suffer and rebuild
But why would you want to be a place with no opportunity? Hey, look, I
because
get what
it's
you're
my
saying.
home, nigga. Ain't nowhere
Right.
else
So
to
why
go.
not fight for your home? Look,
Ain't
everything.
nowhere else to go.
Okay. So why not fight for your shit? If there's
Dave
nowhere else
really
to go,
having a hard
nobody else
time
wants
with
you.
this conversation, bro. This is killing me.
So basically, okay. So now you're reminding me of the movie An Officer and a Gentleman. When Louis Gossett Jr. kept trying to make him quit, he was like, "I can't go no, I ain't got nowhere else to go. I ain't got
I
nowhere else
haven't
to
seen
go."
that movie, bro. Just
You
talk to
can't
me
fight
like
no.
church. Y'all, I don't watch these movies, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy. He had to choose the one movie that was kind of the black movie. It was the one
Yes.
apocalyptic movie starring a nigga. That's the one movie Dave can remember.
Yeah, real talk. Like I'm do all of
Yeah.
this. I'm not open minded like that. I don't know
Hey,
you.
hey,
I know, Dave. I
I
know, and it's
am.
beautiful. That's what makes you beautiful, Dave, because you're not open minded like that.
hey. So in all actuality, it probably be closer to The Walking Dead, like where you know what I'm saying the infrastructure and all that stuff would just go down over time. but it would balkanize, and then some regions would go down faster than others.
Shit.
The
Yeah.
problem of the Walking Dead like relation, I don't know how like the zombies. I mean, because most people will effectively be like the zombies. Is basically how that would
That's
Yeah,
apply.
the
yeah, yeah,
liberals.
hundred
They are the
percent,
zombies, hood.
100%.
Them the zombies.
You have the roving bandits or whatever. You just won't have like people just eating your face.
Right?
It'll
Because
be the same
zombies,
thing
the
I
though.
don't
people
know.
are worse than the
Liberals get
zombies.
cannibalistic.
What you're gonna
I
have
don't
is
know.
cantonization. Like what we was talking on the previous conversation, what you're gonna have is gonna turn into like how we be repping our city. Because
Well, I mean that's why I said balkanization, because what
right,
it's
yeah,
gonna be,
that's
it's
what
gonna be like,
balkanization and cantonization. Okay, yeah, I choose balkanization is a more familiar term, but yeah, cantonization is what I meant.
I mean,
Balkanization is what I
cantons,
meant
yeah,
when I said
it
cantonization.
seems like we would form something like that because like it would be. I don't think people get how difficult it is to establish like a large territory national government. Like America is pretty big, especially as territories go. Like to
Yeah,
have this much contiguous like
Yeah,
governance,
it's a
it's
continent-sized country.
ask
right. Like
No other
ask
country
China.
is really doing that.
They've been like this is the longest time that China's been united amongst all their different factions for a long time. They've
this
been
is why I like Hunger Games because it's districts what 1 through 13 or something like that. You can kind of see America falling because Hunger Games was like a post-apocalyptic America basically, and you could see it kind of divvying up into little territories and being ruled by this and that elite. Like the cartels take over the West Coast. I don't know, some kind of hillbilly liberal alliance rules the Northeast. Like little different pockets will start to evolve.
Hillbilly Alliance is crazy.
I know the hillbilly liberals are dangerous people, bro.
but absent economic opportunity, you're dealing with a mass exodus.
To go
Rollerball.
where? To go where?
if they can
The
get
running
out,
man. What if it's like the running man?
if they can get out, and if their area, say, is not worse than this area would be, because if America was to fall because of lack of economic opportunity, I mean, would Venezuela be any better off,
Not
for
only that,
example?
would you be any better off? So if you want your
Nope.
nation to fail, so other people will leave your nation,
No, that's
then
not
you're
what I'm
you're
saying.
you're in a shithole. You might as well be in the projects with Keisha right now. Like,
Well,
why
Yep.
would
this is
what?
this
I
was one
agree
of the
with that
key. This
sentiment,
this is this
Dirty.
is one of the
That's what I be saying
keystones.
when niggas be wishing the downfall of society because they
Hey,
bitch ain't listening to them.
this is one of the
I agree
keystones or
with
whatever in the argument for the whole back to the table bullshit that people was talking about on Black YouTube. They were like, well, like, when economics like fail or like start falling off, then the women will have to come back to the table. And I'm like, that is loser fucking
you. Yeah,
talk.
that's some cup talk.
It's
All
some
black
black
talk
pill
is loser
shit.
talk, bro.
Hey, I was supporting that argument to I had to look at the high side of things, but it is what it is though. I still want to see them suffer though, but it is what it
You
is.
know what? I think, and I agree. I think I had that kind of process too. Oh, it's like an evolutionary thing. You get to that point where like you don't want it, but that's the only thing that can happen. So it's like, all right, let it happen. But
We like
why
Moses,
would you
bro.
want? Why would you actually want the collapse? It's a solution nobody would actually want.
Because we like Moses, bro. Look, we know that the ones that we trying to take to the promised land cannot go there. So we got wander in the desert for 40 years and let them die off, just like we got to do with the damn baby boomers and some older Gen Xers too.
It's funny you mentioned that, right? So like, none of those people made it to the promised lands, but their kids could have. Case in point, the whole boomer thing, and I hear like the boomers getting like banged on, man, by like many different, like across different ethnicities, right?
Like
And
everybody.
it's funny, man, because it's like, yo, man, we understand how like you weren't gonna make it to the promised land, but you sacrificed my promised land.
See, that's
No,
the
no,
thing.
no, no, no,
That's the
no,
thing that
no, no, no.
Aaron Magruder is trying to get at. Hold on. That's the thing Aaron Magruder is trying to get at. Everybody feels poor, right? So this whole
Yeah.
little we need kid gloves for blacks and we got to make up for slavery and all that horse shit. That shit is over. I
I
mean,
got
it is over in a big way. And you
And it
want
needs to be.
Yeah,
no,
it absolutely needs to be. It
no, but
absolutely needs to be. I agree.
it's worse. It's worse than that. It's worse
No,
than the boomers
no,
couldn't
it's
make
not.
it to the promised land, so they tried to stop their kids.
Well,
Because
it's
that's
not that they and that's the thing. That isn't even the thing. The boomers have nothing to do with their success, right? That is an historical anomaly, right? That
It was
occurred
the
in only
greatest generation
specific.
and contributed to their success. You're
Yeah,
right.
it's only and it only occurred in specific parts of the country, right? That were industrial centers post World War II, right?
it's
Everybody else got screwed. The fucking steel industry got screwed. You still had
The
the South.
stockyards and
Yeah,
yes,
the
stockyards.
South was full of poor people, full of poor whites, full of poor blacks. No, everybody was not driving two cars and had a lake home because they worked at the mill. That shit is false, right? People are living off of a falsehood.
I'm
But
gonna just be real.
what?
Um,
but
But
before you
the
everybody's
baby
tired.
boomers got what
My
they
overall point
the
is
baby
everybody's tired of
boomers
bull.
the
all right,
baby boomers is the largest, actually the most uh gang banging group out of everybody because they literally they bent the wheel of society to
Oh
what
my
they
god.
wanted. They
okay,
had
wait,
no,
wait,
and
wait.
they ain't letting
There's a
go.
lot of inaccuracies here, but let me just go with the promised land thing. All right, here's the crazy part: the the walk, the walk from Egypt to the quote unquote promised land in 6 days. It's a 4 hour drive. It's
Nigga,
Chicago to
that's
Detroit,
out from
right?
them. And y'all talking about the ain't shit. It's
The
crazy.
the reason that they didn't make it to the promised land wasn't because it wasn't their turn. It's because they acted like boomers. Once they got out, the first thing they did is fuck they best friend wife and jagged off all the money on strange hoes and didn't work and begged for welfare, which was the manna coming from the sky.
Let me see who's the big
They
generation.
did exactly what the boomers did in our time frame.
Literally.
To the point that motherfucker had to go and write a book like, yo, don't steal, don't kill, don't fuck your brother wife, man. Like, why did you need those commandments? Like, what type of bullshit would y'all want for a motherfucker had to tell you like, yo, don't fuck it until
Dirty, you forgot that's in our bylaws though that we ain't supposed to mess with each other. But anyway.
but until I got older and really watched my parents, right? Like, wow. To start watching my neighbors' parents, me and my friends. I made a Facebook post the other day. I said, I wish me and my friends had the talk in our 20s that we haven't in our 40s, while we were all individually trying to figure it out. We were collectively hanging out. We were pair bonding. Well, that's our pause. You know what I mean, though. We were group, we were group bonding, but we weren't having the real conversations like what's your home life really like? Like, why are we always outside together? Why are we always, and it's not on the block lifting weights, it's why we always at the mall, at the show, trying to holler at girls at the club. Like, why are we always outside? Why don't we want to go home? That things that we didn't think about at the time because we were outside having fun together. But Atari was out. We ain't had PlayStation yet. We had Atari 5200. We could have been in the crib playing Pac-Man. And when we had
I
these,
mean, that's not as immersive though, man. Not even close.
I know it's not as immersive. I'm just saying as a when I'm saying now that we're older, we had a conversation like, what was going on? Like, man, my uncle was on crack, my mama was a busser. Me and none of our motherfucking me and none of my siblings got the same last name, but my daddy adopted the other two. Like, they was doing wild toddler shit, bro. Them boomers was
Andre
going.
said I'm an undercover boomer.
Nah, they was going full toddler. Like, never go full toddler. They was
Yeah,
going full
yeah,
toddler.
but dirty. Also, too, it's like a freedom element, man. If you outside, it's like a freedom. Like inside meant like a restriction. Because, like, case in point, whenever I went to my grandma's, like in the summer in South Carolina, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you went in the house like more than 3 times during a certain time period, you inside the whole time.
Yep.
They were
Yep.
talking about the AC and
Don't
running
slam
the
that
Yep.
electric
door.
bill. And it's like, and you didn't want to be trapped, so you just stayed
Yep.
outside. Hey, I drank out
Yep.
the water
Hey,
hose.
I have a
You know what
I
I'm
have a
saying?
90-year-old father. Now look, check this out, because that's why I get mad at when motherfuckers talking about they want somebody from the 1950s and shit like that. Look, I have a 90-year-old father, literally. This nigga was old, but by the time I came into the world already, so this nigga was old. He old now too. So I'm trying to figure out what all these people want to talk about the good old days, talking about we was all together. Like, no, the fuck we wasn't.
No,
No, the
they
hell we won.
Mr. O, they don't understand the trade-offs. Cause guess what? Hey, old boy might go upside your head. You know what I'm saying? Like if you get home and something ain't right, and then like they praising all these white dudes when the what the dude called Joseph, I think is the dude's first name, the dancing hillbilly from West Virginia. His last name was White. The Whites of West Virginia, that documentary and all that. Man, he beat his girl because she didn't cook the eggs right. So you know what I'm saying? Like all these people, like praising all these other cultures and all this stuff. I
What's
mean,
so
it
hard
wasn't
about
always
cooking
good.
eggs, though?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
and was
man.
he
He
really
said,
wrong?
I
man,
mean,
he
all right,
said,
let's not do that. That's just I don't know. In my mind, I'm like, but they're eggs. Like, how easy
It's a
is that?
3 minute job.
Anyway,
You didn't have 3 minutes.
anyway, anyway.
You didn't have three
yo,
minutes with
my
the
man,
roast.
he was hot about them eggs though. He's like, she gave me this the last time you were cooking me these slimy eggs, slimy sloppy eggs, and I'm like, oh damn. I'm gonna find that clip. I'm gonna send it to you, Hood.
They like to say stuff
I can
like,
see that. I can see me in that moment.
"Nah, I can too." Because when people say it's about something else, it's not about the eggs. It could be about the eggs. How many times did he try to? He probably been taught her how to make the eggs, how to stand it. I look, girl, do the eggs. He probably had a whole egg like seminar for her and everything, and she
Had a
still messed up.
PowerPoint.
But I was
Yeah,
just about to say that he had a PowerPoint for showing how to make eggs with a project. Oh wow.
I'm just saying, bro. Like you don't just go fresh from off the street to beat you over the eggs. Like this is Chinese water
Oh,
torture.
maybe he wanted like over easy like Jack Nicholson did in anger management. He got mad and
Yeah.
how he threw the.
Django
Bro,
wife broke the eggs. Look what they did to her, man.
but think about it, bro. And then he's a man, which means that men are simple. They eat the same thing the same type of way every time. So these are same fucking eggs, lady.
Hey,
Same goddamn eggs.
we also forget that majority of the men between the 1950s or even to like the early 90s, a lot of men served in the military and fought in war. A lot of men was killers back in them time periods.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. I'm
And you
just
nah,
can't
saying.
even cook 3 eggs together. Jesus Christ.
you can't
I
do
Listen,
had
that.
to
They
kill a
What
man
our
last week.
great
I
great
can't do that.
grandfathers knew that they had to be restrained.
Yes.
That's something they knew, and that's something that they did not pass down. So now it
Yes, they
is up to
did. Yes,
men.
they did, free. Yes, they did.
No,
The problem was the silent generation. They the ones that started all this fair and balanced, equal opportunity that Mr. Lipschitz how to properly
no.
raise children bullshit.
I
Yeah.
tell you, I know. Well, here's where they fell down. Right,
Uh,
post World War II, they they got into lasciviousness. Right, they got into immorality.
that was the
The rise,
silent
the rise.
generation.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You are correct, but that kind of hinges on everything. It's like, look at us, look at our prosperity. Right now, we can turn from our families and indulge in this, that, and the other, and that's what they pass down to the next generation instead of check your. So now
Hey,
here we are, and you've got half of a male generation that is brainwashed into thinking, there's nothing wrong with the female president. You know what I mean?
meanwhile,
Despite
our,
all
our
the
cities
information to otherwise.
our
Like,
cities are being taken over by a guy called Cookie Monster.
you know what? That,
Look how low we've fallen.
you know what, bro? I do want to say though, that Cookie Monster, depending on, that's kind of a cool name. You gotta admit.
I already stole it. I claimed it earlier. That is my post-apocalyptic warlord name. So
I mean,
you gotta be
think about
somebody
the
else.
reach of PBS, bro. Think about the reach that they are even down in Venezuela in different languages teaching you about cookies. Think about Big Bird. What if his lieutenant name is Big Bird? That would be so gangster.
Bro.
nah, man, I'm just gonna rip off barbecue, man.
Bertho. They call him Bertho.
I'm just like, I'm gonna be barbecue like up in what was it, Haiti?
Yes, I do. I still
Yeah,
got that barbecue show. I might have take it down and get monetized. Like barbecue used to be a sergeant in the police force into the Clinton coup that nobody
what
talks about.
what movie was that came out a
Renegade.
couple years
That,
ago?
that, that, that was barbecues on best. So you were renegade.
It was a
Yeah,
movie a
barbecue and
couple years
renegade.
ago. It was a movie where like this family, it was like some post-apocalyptic America, and it was all these territories with all these different kinds of psychopaths. Like it was this was such and such country, and this was such and such country, and like the family had to travel from one place to the next. I forget why, and they had to like travel through all these different territories. I'm like, yeah, I think we're. I forget the name of that movie. All of a sudden, it just popped into my head. Like it seems like we're headed for this kind of shit where it's about to be a free for all in this place.
I
Hey,
don't
J
remember
Bo,
that one, but
drop that movie, bro. Where they get
there
that
was
from?
that one movie with the dude that had just passed. You know what I'm saying? He had the scar on his face, The Road. And he stole from that white dude with his son. Like they had like looked out for him and gave him some food, and then like while they was asleep, he like stole all their shit, and then dude
Wasn't that
tracked him
Omar
down.
from The Wire?
Yeah, it was. And dude tracked him down or whatever, and made him strip buck naked and took everything from him after they found him. I was like, damn. And he was
Well, he wanted
crying.
to
He was
kill
like,
him. His son didn't want to catch the body, but he should have killed him
yeah,
and just kept it moving.
yeah. Because I'm like, then he wouldn't have had to like struggle or whatever. He would put him out of his own misery. And I'm like, but the son being weak actually made it worse for that dude. Kind of funny.
It's
Now
always
you think about it.
Yeah,
it's all,
that was a hell
truth.
of a movie too. By the way, The Road, like that scene in the cannibal house when he was about to kill his son and himself, like oh, that was a tense moment. That was like some great like filmmaking right there. That was I remember watching that for the first time, like with a pit in my stomach, like ah, like the anguish of that moment.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's tough, man. And like it's things like that where it kind of make you think. Be like, hey, man, could you do something like that? Hell, like even a documentary I watched, I was talking to somebody about Bill Withers, Still Bill. I was like, Bill Withers was working for like 8 months when he was becoming a celebrity slash star and was making all this money hand over fist, but he thought it was just gonna go away. Then, like at the height of his career, when he was about to start like really touring and making even more money, he disappeared from like the public space or whatever to go raise his family. I was like, damn, man, how many people could actually do that?
Yeah, it's tough, I guess. But listen, we actually just passed the 3 hour mark, so I think this pretty good time to wrap this show up. We ain't even killed Dave today. I think we're doing well. We're that was progress. That was progress,
I
man.
mean, but Dave, you on the list though, bro. Like I was trying not to kill you today, bro. You were saying a
Hey,
lot of
Dirty said he
Y'all
had to go a couple
motherfuckers
times though.
crazy.
like Dave, you
we we made it though. We got through it together.
nah, I'm still gonna kill you, Dave. You still gotta go, Dave.
Can I get my final thought, man? Because y'all been the united.
Wait,
Y'all been
Hood,
good
Hood,
today,
Jesus
man.
Christ! If
Y'all
I
Hood,
give you a final thought, I gotta let
You
other
just
people
sounded like
address.
Negan right there,
Hood.
conservative. You just sounded like Negan.
I know,
hey,
right? That's
You
my
get it
guy
hey,
too,
together.
by the way. I love the character Negan. What up,
Hey,
Freeman?
you
Oh,
got to put the picture
You
up.
got to put the pickup. You got to.
Then I was working on it in the background. I almost got it. Hold on, give me 2 minutes to finish it. I had to take it off of Twitter first.
y'all
Had to
was
do some
killing,
work to it.
stopping me from revving up.
yeah.
Like even before I could get to it, like 7 seconds in, y'all will see it. Be like, man, he on some
But
bullshit.
no, you forgot to play the black woman privilege when we was talking about the black woman and her her failed debauchery raising proper warrior class men to go against the Latino coalition of migrants. But she know how to turn to kill other dudes that look just like us. You forgot to play that what's next for me hood. Just no, we play next show.
I have black mother privilege, and I'm going to start breaking that down for y'all because there is a privilege for me as a black mother. I'm not going to have the same relationship. My sons adore me. My sons will put their life on the line in a New York minute over me. My sons will lose everything they have over me. Over me? It ain't happening. My sons will turn on their father over me. Over me? So when you ask me about my black sons, the relationship does not correlate the same to what I'm saying about black men.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
That is wild, man. Get your son to crash out and then be bragging about it.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That,
The
these
whole
are the niggas,
the whole community is a crash show.
right? That these are those become the men that want other men to fight for them. They ain't killed the man that killed for them, so they could be the only good man.
That's the
Hey,
boomers and that's the pro blacks right there.
Dave,
That's the boomers and the pro blacks.
you wanted to close us out, Dave?
Yeah, I came to an epiphany today that, um, I'm starting to
Spell
realize.
epiphany.
I'm
Spell
starting to
epiphany.
yeah. Except without that fucking Drano ring on his ear, whatever the fuck that shit called. I don't know what the fuck that shit is with the man. You need
A
to blot out
gauge,
that nigga ear. I
a
don't know what that
gauge.
shit mean. But look, I came to an epiphany today. If we wanted to put it in terms of who owned the most on the campaign, seemed like everybody complaining because these boomers done took over and motherfuckers scared to wrestle this shit away from these motherfuckers with some unified campaigning. That's what
I mean, I just want to push them old bastards down the fucking flight of stairs or just take away their damn buttons to their power
Man,
chair.
I
Rock, I want
mean
to hit this.
that.
I want to hit this.
Jesus
I want to hit
Christ.
it.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I want to hit this, man.
Oh
So,
my god, man.
so not
No,
boomers,
no, no,
boomers the
no,
ops. I
no.
mean, boomers are the ops, but that's what we going with today. Boomers the ops.
I'm rolling with that. I think that X and the whatever closest it is next to it, that's the austerity generations. Motherfuckers ain't got the numbers, ain't got the wherewithal to be closed minded and say we all we got. I think it's going down to that. Who's that next big population, past X? Because it looked like they got their own everything. You know what I'm saying? The way they
You
do
talking about
things.
millennials and Gen Z,
Yeah,
Dave.
yeah, they in
Millennials
their
and
own
Gen Z.
world and they popping up and everything like that. Um, and to a lot of these questions, I think, especially to what the topic of the show was, follow the money, and you'll understand how it's gonna end up. Especially monitor the city budgets because being able to repay your monthly interest payments and having bondholders happy to be able to keep and re-upping that money, that's really gonna dictate how all of this go. And then on that end game type shit y'all was talking about, it ain't no movie. It's more of you got to understand why people is here, and once you do that, you understand once opportunity. They tell you every day, "I'm here for opportunity." So I ain't talking this. That ain't got nothing to do with immigration. I'm just talking about the populace of America in general. So as that opportunity ceased to be what it was, you're gonna see in that scenario, which I don't hope for at all, you'll see an exodus more or less. But that's about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dave. Thanks, Dave.
Give it up today, ladies and gentlemen. Give
You're
such a
welcome
chocolate.
anytime.
Such a chocolate. I don't know what the fuck they had to do with nothing, but shout out to Dave.
Facts, yeah. But shout out to Dave, just the same, bro. Big shout out to Dave. I
Nigga
don't know
used
what none of that
Peniel
was
gland.
either.
Man, I
Like
just
normally
checked
when I
the
hear that
chat,
type of
man. You said it
conversation,
was babble.
nah, normally when I hear niggas talk like that, they talk about pineal glands and being God and all that.
I
You ain't
thought he
even
was going to
saying
talk about a chakra,
Chakras.
but he ended that shit
Man.
before we got to the chakras.
you ain't say none of that. Shout out
Oh
to you,
my
Dave.
But
god,
shout out to
man.
Dave. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Dave, y'all. Dave is a regular guest over here on the show. We got to wrap this thing up. We got to get up out of here. It's been a long show. It's been fun. We talked a lot about the migrants. I can't believe I did an hour of content without any talking. It was just straight apocalypto, just running through the Venezuelan migrant jungle. That shit was wild.
Hey, yo,
I'll talk
Hood
to
and
you guys later,
Dirty.
man.
Now, when I
Huh?
get off at work, at around 3:30, 4 o'clock, you don't seem you available. I might go ahead and continue this stream talking about the migrants in Aurora and here in Chicago. You hit the signs and shit right now. They fucking around right now, so we might go ahead and continue this a little late over on my platform. So be
Hey,
on the lookout.
Yeah,
hey,
drop the
drop
links
the
and
link
all
to your
that, man.
channel. Drop the link
Yeah,
to your
if I
channel,
get a
Michelle.
chance, I'll pull up.
Hey, yeah, y'all,
No
y'all,
doubt.
y'all sub to dirty folks everywhere. Rumble. Yo, support my Rumble, man. I be wanting to go wild. I can't say what I want to say. Y'all think I'm wild on YouTube. I want to go wild, but I can't even talk about the topics I want to talk about on the YouTubery. But support my Rumble, man, and support.
Okay. I do both of effect. We're pre-game over here on YouTube because I got a Rumble channel that I need to build up myself. So we're pre-game over here on YouTube. So yeah, everybody in the chat. Then we go ahead and really do the motherfucking stream on Rumble, so we can talk how we really want to talk.
I just saw Jap do that last night. I think I'm gonna bite that.
Yeah,
So
that's
everybody
kind
in
of the
agreement?
model.
Okay, everybody in agreement. All right, so we're going to do that. See y'all around 4:30, 5 o'clock.
You know, I just know what I want to do my show on. Yo, what's the name of that thing, man? Telescope. What's the name of that app?
Telegram.
We're going
Telegram.
Telegram.
Gonna do me a show on Telegram. All right,
Hey,
man.
Yeah, a lot of
hey,
that, going on
you
too,
might want
man.
to be careful because old boy got picked up in France, man. He might be
Yeah,
Oh
singing. He
yeah.
might
bro.
be singing in France.
Allegedly set up by the Mossad, bro. That's dark.
Yeah, that is.
Damn.
I was like, damn. I saw that this morning, man. I was like,
That's
damn, man, they got him in a
I
honey
can't
pot.
talk about that on
Yeah,
YouTube.
his
That's the
girl,
type
man.
of,
We gotta
Yo,
talk about that. Now
can't
we got
trust
something
these
to talk
hoes, bro.
about.
I might have to take that to Rumble. That's the type of
He
shit I
was
be really on.
allegedly invited by the president of France.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ooh,
to
whoa!
yeah,
What?
Well,
bro. This
well,
is a
yeah.
big game going on.
France betrayed him, man, because like he used to talk real good about them, man.
Yeah, and
Man,
Macron and his funny
Yeah, we.
looking alleged wife. That whole place is wild. That
that
is
is
a
a
funny
14-year-old
looking
boy.
broad. I gotta tell
That
you,
is a
man. We need to
14-year-old boy.
investigate that
Hey,
person.
shout out to Kansas
Bro.
Owens for doing the heavy
Yeah,
lifting.
man. I believe Candace. I stand with Candace, bro.
Hey, we gotta come up with a name. I think we gotta call ourselves a Hayocracy 2.0 or something. We gotta come up with a name for this shit though.
I
But we
don't
gonna
know.
come up with something.
Every time I talk to y'all YouTube niggas, y'all want to have a click name, and I like all y'all, bro. But yeah, I just don't.
Yeah.
I'm just, you know
As
what,
soon as you
man?
put a name on it, it starts to get weird.
Yeah, niggas start, Now, once here's my thing, and that's another reason I got to go to Rumble because I need the white boys. Because once black women like your content, bro, your content be watered down. Like, I don't want to quote Patrice
real.
O'Neal, but I remember him saying, "White, I don't want white people to like me. I'm anti-white," which was not true at all. But you know what I mean? It was like the type of content that I have, I wouldn't think would be PG-13, like American content. But it was, right? Everybody love Patrice. That's how I feel about black women. They're like, once black women was like, yo, black women for Trump, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't vote for Trump,
Well, you gotta put it in perspective, Dirty. There's a ratio to it, right? It's
Damn,
still
you
10 to
right, Dirty.
1. It's still 10 to 1 Kamala. It's still 10 to 1 Kamala.
that's how I run my lifestyle, bro. If two or
no,
more
no,
black
like
women agree, do the opposite. I'm like, hold
Dirty.
Yo,
on.
listen. I got to shut this down. I actually got some work I got to get done, man. I got a deadline to meet. I'll catch you guys later. We got to close this one out. You guys have a great day. Somebody just donated to the show. Shout out to my man Mike with the $2 cash app. He says Dave makes me miss OG J Speed. I think OG in Africa like training zebras or something. J Speed is in Africa. That nigga got a zebra plantation.
Man, y'all wild today, boy.
Yo, we out of here though. We done, man. We are so done.
Good afternoon, boys and girls. Shut the fuck up. Hey.
Not nice.
No, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
You need to leave? No, bitch.
Okay.
Oh.
Aspiring to be patriarchs like what white men have, that isn't freedom. That isn't going to help anybody. It's certainly not going to help black people.
It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done.